Hey everybody, what's up? Not sure if we're in here yet or not. Looking. Oh, I forgot to check the emails. Okay, I might check, just flip through some emails really quickly. Just remember that. But I don't want to stop the stream because it started. I don't want to confuse people. Okay, let me just X out of this. So I'm pretty sure we got a new member that I need to holler at. I've been spending all day working on these videos. I haven't been able... I'm going to finish the tier list video before tonight. Then I've been working on the patch notes, and I'll have that done. And then I started doing sort of a rune overview video as well. So I've got those three coming up, and then I'm going to do individual guides for a lot of champions too. I know there are a lot of other YouTubers that are coming out with stuff faster than me, but my information is going to be better. I'll guarantee you most of the time, because I'm actually researching it and like actually trying some of these things out. I think so. Anyways, it's always quality over speed here. And, you know, usually I try to get, if you're new to the channel, I try to get the patch notes out by like the next day after they're released. I don't release them before the patch because the people who do that use something like Surrender at 20, and that's just stuff that's on the PvE server. That's not the actual patch notes. No one knows the actual patch notes until they come out, which is usually the day before the new patch. And so I wait until they actually come out so that I can see what actually happens, because sometimes it's different from the PvE. So if you ever watch some of those other videos out there closely on YouTube, you'll see they mentioned something that was going to be like overpowered or this huge nerf, and they're like, watch out for that. And then it never actually happened. And so it confuses people because they're like, wait a minute, I thought this champion was nerfed, or I thought this champion was overpowered. And it turns out that they were just looking at the public beta instead of the actual patch notes. So I try to keep it as clear as possible. Obviously, there's so much on this patch. This is the biggest patch of League of Legends since Season 1. So it just takes a little bit of extra time, but I'm working on it. I've almost got it. I do have the Google Doc in the description. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I'll release another episode tonight after the stream. But I do have the Google Doc ready. I just haven't recorded the video yet for the 7.22 tier list. So I've got that in the description. Feel free to check that out if you like. Just be sure, if you look at the Google Doc, just be sure to at least drop by the video when I release it. And just, you know, if you enjoy it, give it a like, or at least give it a view. And that way more people can find it. So... Nice. Congrats, Dylan. That's great. So yeah, so I could say, wait, I want people to have to go watch it through the video, but I know people want to know it right now, and so I'm giving you access to this Google Doc. It just doesn't, I don't get any street cred with Google for that. I don't get views, I don't get ads or anything like that. And so obviously the channel's not all about that, but it does help. It does help grow the channel. So it is in the description though, if you want to see it early, and then I'll release the video tomorrow. Like I said, just drop by there at some point if you're interested. I'll talk about it real quickly at the very beginning, just to give people kind of the TLDR of what's going to be going on, because I know people are going to be playing games tonight, and they want to see, you know, they want to know what's hot, right? People want to know right away what's hot, what's good. So the top 5 for every role, I'll probably do a top 10 video for each role as well. I'm going to have to research all this stuff in much more depth. It takes a very, very long time to research these things, because I look at League Wikia, I have to think carefully about the meta, like how does it fit in with everybody else who also got changed. There are base stat changes on everybody that I had to go through and analyze, and they're meaningful. I know a lot of the YouTube videos, you know, out there saying, okay, some stats got changed, whatever, it doesn't matter. It matters a lot because it's defining the meta. For example, one of the huge things that changed is that mid laners no longer get any extra armor. They get this dinky plus 12 health per level, which is trash. And so that means that champions like Talon and Zed are going to run crazy in the mid lane because they pretty much get a free 15 lethality to start with, because their enemy's not going to have 9 armor, which is, I think, roughly equal to 15 lethality level 1. So yeah, that's a really big deal. Giving Zed or Talon just a bonus 15 lethality at the start. And they also get plus 8 attack damage, and they got extra damage on their PQW. So all these other YouTubers that are like running through saying, okay, stat changes, whatever, it doesn't matter. It matters. I would argue that in many lanes, it's actually going to matter more than the runes themselves or these stats. And no one's going through it because it's like reading a legal contract. it kind of sucks, right? Like for me, I get excited about it. I like it because I'm finding stuff that other people aren't talking about or finding, and I like doing that because I like giving my viewers the scoop, right, as much as I can. But yeah, there's some serious stuff going on under the hood there, and so I'm going to talk about that more in my patch notes. But that's just a sample of like why it takes so long to research this, because you have to go through and read all this. They made 140 different changes, like 146. It's like every single champion got some changes to their base stats. So I have to go through and read that and understand, what does that mean? How does that change their matchups, their common matchups in lane? What did their opponent get? How is this going to affect that? So there are a lot of changes, and there's jungle changes. So there's no longer catch-up experience, and so if you fall behind early, you're going to get slammed. And they changed the XP on creeps, so now the jungle is going to be more versatile, so people could actually start wolves blue top, and they wouldn't be down in experience, because you used to almost always have to start either raptors or red for experience purposes. Now you can actually start blue if you want on wolf side. So it opens up new gank paths for junglers, and so that changes the way certain matchups around. So there's just a lot of stuff going on that takes a very long time to research, but I'm working on it. I'm hacking my way through. So let's talk about just really quickly the tier list, and then we'll get into some games here. Real quick, for other roles, if you play a different role, or it's your off role, or you just want to play around and try out some different stuff in the preseason, I think top lane best is going to be Pantheon, J4, Renekton, Jace, Fiora. All of these got the plus. You'll notice a common trend here. Do you notice anything with top and middle? There's no AP. None. And I didn't upgrade the jungle one. This is out of date, so don't look at this one. I forgot to do that one in my haste here, so I'm gonna have to tinker with that one. Let me see. Market. Yeah, so that one's work in progress. So don't tinker with that yet. Because Sejuani and Gragas need to be replaced with something else, but I have to figure out what. But yeah, because they're just going to get shattered. Any AP champion, because they don't have armor now, is just going to get shattered. And so it's going to be all like AD on AD. And I think a lot of tanks, because all the tank items have been nerfed now, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to itemize fast enough to keep up with this. I think they're just going to get slaughtered in lane because the tank masteries are trash. That's what I think. I've heard people say the resolve masteries like, oh, they're good. No, they're awful. Like, there's one good thing, like this right here is good. Aftershock is good, okay? But everything else is just a steaming pile of trash. Like, this is okay for split pushers, I guess, but that's not really a combat thing. Like, and these are just so bad early on, and this is so bad. So yeah, Aftershock's good, but the other three are just garbage. So tanks don't have any new good toys, and the assassin type of people, they have a lot of stuff. If we look at the assassin stuff, a lot of them are going to go down domination. They're going to take electrocute. They're going to take either sudden impact or cheap shot. A lot of them are probably going to take sudden impacts. Now they get an additional 10 lethality. In addition to the 15 they basically get at level 1, because mages aren't going to have any armor. They're going to have extra protection, so they can play aggressively. They can use Ghost Poro, probably be the most likely one, or Zombie Ward. And then they're going to be able to rotate a lot faster and snipe people out with, like, Relentless Hunter. Or, maybe they go Ravenous. I think a lot of them are going to go Relentless. And then in Sorcery, they can go something like Absolute Focus and Scorch to have even more early game damage. And it's so much extra damage. It's just like an insane amount of extra damage. And I don't think tanks are going to be able to keep up. I don't think they're going to be able to get items fast enough, and they're going to get just stomped in lane. And so it's just going to be like assassin on assassin everywhere. AD assassin on AD assassin everywhere. I'll have to think more. There might be some solutions. One solution I think is Alistar. You might actually see Alistar in the middle, because he can actually build kind of like an assassin. He can go all of this stuff and do really heavy damage when he does his WQ all in. But he got plus 20 base armor. Was one of the big buffs on him. And obviously his ultimate's going to give him a lot of free protection. So he can actually itemize stuff like Sheen if he wants to. I don't know if he would go Trinity Force eventually out of that, or like Frozen Fist or something. But he can itemize into Sheen to add even more burst early. And so he can, like, outburst the assassins, potentially mid lane. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. But Alistar, someone, I think J4 is, like, basically still going to get the same stuff and be super assassin-ish, but he's just ridiculous, so he's super tanky anyways. So, you know, people might come up with some solutions. I think Alistar and J4 are pretty good in the meta, but Lucian's ridiculous. I think Lucian's going to be tier 1 mid because he can do press the attack plus sudden impact and all that other stuff. I think Lucian's just going to be crazy, and then Talon and Zed are kind of the super crazy ones as well. And then bot lane, I think it's Kalista Lucian because they can use press the attack and sudden impact, and that combo is disgusting. And then I think if those two are banned or you just don't like playing those, I think Draven, Varus, maybe Corki can get around some of these things. Now on the flip side though, that's going to lead into the supports really quick. And I'm going to speed this up and then we'll get into some games. I just wanted to just hit that because no one said that yet. No one has explained that. And a lot of that, what I just talked about, that meta shift derives from the base stat changes. So yes, it is about the runes because Resolve Tree is terrible and the Domination Tree plus the Sorcery Tree are awesome. So that does drive it, but one of the biggest drivers also is that all of the mages lost their armor. A lot of them did, except for support mages. For some reason, support mages got to keep armor, okay? So like Nami gets her armor, Zyra gets her armor. Zyra actually gets armor plus HP per level. So they handpicked a couple of support mages. Sona and Soraka get their armor. Or at least 9 of it. So some of them have armor, but things like Karma do not have armor. So Karma has that crappy 12 HP per level. So they kind of handpicked which supports, or which mages are going to be viable, and it's going to be support mages, basically, because they have armor. And I heard somebody saying, oh, Karma's going to be OP with ulti hat and all that stuff. Well, clearly they didn't look at the base stats because she's going to get massacred. I mean, she might still be okay, but she's going to have a really hard time early against a lot of the AD carries, especially Kalista and Lucian. So yeah, anyway, so early game domination. This is going to be the fastest meta I think we've ever had once people figure it out. It's just going to be a slaughter fest. There's so much damage, and tanks cannot keep up with it. So a real question you have to ask yourself a lot of times. There's going to be 2 styles of support I think that'll be good. You've got your Comet. You either go Comet or Electrocute, Scorch, Cheap Shot. How well can they use those 3? Or you've got your, whatever it is, Kleptomaniac or Klepto, whatever, the Steel thing. Kleptomancy. Klepto means to steal. That's what that root word means. So Kleptomaniac is someone who is just like addicted to stealing. Or just obsessed with stealing things. Or so you're going to have this, or you're going to have Klepto plus heal. So can they out-heal the damage and just out-gold them by just getting a ton of gold? Kleptomancy is extremely powerful if you don't die, and if you get a lot of good hits in with it. So that's really going to define what's a good support now, is how well do they use some combination of this right here. Either the damage suite, the 3 on-hit damage suites, or the Klepto plus heal, and just try to out-sustain and just out-poke the enemy. And so the tier list, and I updated all of the mini guides as well for the top 10. I haven't done the top 20 yet. It takes a while to do that. It takes a while to do everything on this patch. But if you click on the little Google Doc here, you can see I have updated runes, items. I didn't update the matchups yet. But this is still relevant. Like, the matchups are still true regardless of itemization a lot of the times. And regardless of runes. But yeah, so I've got the runes for all of the top 10 champions and the recommended items all updated for the top 10 champions. So that's all good to go. So if you're ever wondering, what does the strategy professor think about X champion? If it's in the top 10, I've got it right there. I've got it ranked for you. I've got the runes. I've got the items. And if I have an in-depth guide, I've got it linked. Now, this is not a Season 8 guide. They're all Season 7. I'm going to start rolling out Season 8 guides soon, probably this weekend. But that will help you understand how to play the champion in terms of their abilities and stuff like that. So it'll give you a good start if you want to try to learn a new champion like Zyra. You see Zyra's OP right now. You want to try to learn her, go watch my Zyra guide. It'll teach you how to play her. Even though the items might be a little different and the runes obviously will be a little different, you can still get a good grasp of how to play the game with Zyra. And then I'll update it for Season 7 coming soon, or Season 8 rather, coming soon. So yeah, Zyra's obviously on the damage train. Sona's the best Klepto support. Then Blitzcrank is on the damage train, and he's very good against Sona and Zyra. Got Alistar as kind of the newcomer. The reason that Alistar, I think, is making a huge comeback is because he has pretty good all-in damage when he combos, and it's really reliable. You can just point-click engage on somebody. And he is innately very tanky. He got plus 20 armor out of this, which is a huge deal early on against Lucian and Callista. And he's very good with Callista, obviously, too. I mean, that's like peanut butter and jelly, right? When Callista throws him into somebody. So he's very good with the top 80 carry. And he has pretty good matchups into Sona. If you engage on her, she's going to die level 2 with your combo, probably, or she's going to have to flash. And he does, like I said, quite a bit of damage. Especially with the masteries that I have him hooked up with. So you just go Electro, Cheap Shot, Zombie, Relentless Scorch, Trans for the extra CD cooldown. So don't get baited on some of these champions by going down the, even the tanks. Like, do not go into the tank tree. It's trash. I'm telling you. I've seen some like commentators out there saying, "Oh, I think it is not. It is not good." I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I am pretty certain that Resolve Tree is garbage. The only thing that's good is the Keystone. So just forget it. Just go something that's naturally really tanky, like Alistar, who has an ultimate to help keep him safe. He gets plus 20 armor early on. And just go the damage. Just go for the damage. Same thing with Leona. And so Alistar, I think, is up there. And he heals in lane whenever you kill minions and stuff. So he has sustain. He can tower dive early. With those aggressive junglers who want to come down. His ultimate gives him a ton of free protection. He can engage fights later really easily. He can engage fights in lane. He does a lot of damage. He can peel. So I think if you've been missing Alistar the last year, I think this is your time. He's back. He's back, baby. Alistar's back. So I think he's going to be the thing that sneaks up on people. I think a lot of commentators are going to overlook Alistar because he's been dead for so long. But I think he's going to be really good right now. I think it's his time to shine. Soraka's really good. You could build her a couple of different ways. I think Kleptomancy would be the way that I would go. So I just go Klepto, Biscuit, Magical, Celestial, Zombie, Cheap Shot. So it's kind of a mix of going Klepto and then Zombie and Cheap Shot. You could also go Eye Collector if you want. She does have a good AP ratio. Zombie's good, but you can go Eyeball Collector if you don't think you're going to be able to get a lot of deep wards early. It's going to be hard to do that with Soraka because she's so vulnerable. And Zombie's okay. I mean, it's good, but it's really only good if you advance your vision really quickly into their jungle and then let those wards linger around. If you're just killing pink wards on your own side of the map, a lot of times or you're killing wards with your pinks on your own side of the map, it's not going to be super helpful. It's only good if you gain map pressure and advance into their jungle. It's kind of what I figured out. So yeah, I think she's going to be pretty good on this patch. She is vulnerable to assassins though, so that's why I have her down in tier 2. A lot of people might have her in tier 1, but you know, she can get eaten up by something like a Talon or a Zed, especially early on. Fiddlesticks, I still think is good. He's kind of an odd duck. He doesn't fit into those paradigms I talked about, but he's really good against assassins because he can build into Hourglass, and that protects him pretty well against things like Kayn, things like Talon. And he uses Hex Flash. The Hex Flash is extremely powerful on a handful of champions that have a really good engage CC that don't have a good gap closer, so that's Fiddle. So if you just hang out in a bush and then you Hex Flash on them and then fear them, they're probably dead. So, you know, if your ult's on cooldown and you want to make plays, you can do it with Hex Flash and Fiddle. And, you know, his fear is obviously very good against assassins as well. So, I think that he's kind of an odd duck that can still be pretty powerful. Now, his crows, when they bounce around each time they hit a champion, they can trigger lower cooldown on Comet. So, and whenever he fears somebody, the Comet's automatically going to hit him. So, I just go Comet, Ulti, Trans, Scorch, Hex Flash, Cosmic. So he can't really use Cheap Shot that well. But nevertheless, I think he'll be pretty good. And you just go Ionian, Watcher, Zonya, Void Staff, Leandri, Banshees probably. So I think Fiddle's kind of an odd duck, but I think he'll be pretty good. Leona's all the rage. Everyone wants to play Leona. She's still super dangerous. But she is powerful. She's one of the champions where you could go Resolve if you really want to. I would still just go Electro Cheap Shot Zombie though, or she doesn't have good AP ratio, so you want Zombie instead of Eyeball Collector. So Electro Cheap Shot Zombie, Relentless Scorch, Ulti. I would just go for the throat right away, and I'm pretty sure that Electro plus Cheap Shot plus Scorch is going to give you more damage than just going for whatever the other one is. So, yeah, and then just mobility, Eye of the Equinox, Frozen Fist. I think Frozen Fist can actually be pretty good on these tanks, because that gives you a Sheen proc for extra damage early. And it gives you a little bit of tankiness as well. I guess I can do a 1 with FOD. Yeah, I'll play 1 with FOD here in a second. So yeah, I think she can be pretty good. And then Nami with Klepto I've got. And then Bard is another one who's kind of an odd duck. But I think I've moved him up quite a bit because he's very strong early on. So it's all about the early game right now. And I think just going the Electro, Cheap Shot, Relentless, Scorch, Absolute. Very good on him. And then Rakan is kind of in a weird spot. But oddly enough, I would still just go damage on him as well. Electro, Cheap Shot, Relentless, Ulti, Scorch. So he's kind of weird because he has to go Oasis. I mean, I guess you could go Spell Thieves on him. Yeah, and then, like, he still wants Ardent and Zeke, so his itemization is a little awkward. I guess you could go Frozen Fist, too, on him if you want. I don't know. Rakan's kind of in a weird spot, but he is an engaged champion, and there aren't going to be a lot of hard engaged champs. So that's what makes Leona and Alistar a little bit better, because you're not going to have tanks in the jungle or top lane as much anymore. You might still see people playing them, but, you know, outside of something like Jarvan, there just aren't a lot of, like, really good engaged champions out there. So having engage as support's pretty nice right now. Whereas you didn't have to have that in the past few patches because, you know, you had your Sejuanis, your Gragas's, all of that stuff running around. You're not going to have that as much anymore, I don't think. Except for J4. I mean, I ban J4 every game, so he's not going to be in my games. So yeah, having one more engage option can be pretty good. But I have him lower because he doesn't do as much damage. I don't think he does as much damage as a Leona and Alistar, and his W is a lot easier to dodge than either one of those champions if he doesn't have his ulti up. So he's a lot worse pre-6 than those are, and that's why I have him lower on the list. Yeah, and then the other ones. I'll talk about the other ones in the video, but I just wanted to hit the top 10 really quick for you. Let me see if there's any questions, and we'll get into some games here. Oh crap! And I need to check that email too. I forgot to confirm. I think we had a new member last night. Yeah, I've got your help, Manusco, right there. You can see the runes for the top 10 champions, and I have an in-depth rune video that rates every rune and talks about them. That's coming out probably tomorrow. I've got the Google Doc rolling on it, as you can see, but it just takes a very long time. There's however many runes there are. There's like 30 runes or something that I have to talk about, so it's going to take a while. But I've almost got that going, and then I'll have one with the patch notes where I talk about all of the stats and some of the other changes they made to like items and the jungle and stuff like that. I'll have another video on that. So I've been kind of chipping away at all 3 of these videos because they're all related. Like, you have to understand the jungle and the stats before you can understand like what's going to be on the tier list, I think. So it's so much to process. If I'm creating good content, I mean, if I'm just trying to throw out garbage as fast as I can, you know, on day 1, then whatever. You know, I could just say, oh, here's this rune. It looks interesting. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I could do that, but I'm not going to do that to you. I want to give you the good stuff. What's up, Fringe? Awesome. Thanks, Akira. That's great. It's possible Bard is bad, but I'm not entirely convinced. Bard is hard to play, which is why he's always a little lower on my list. But Bard did get AD. Yeah, he did get AD. Or armor, rather. So he is shorter ranged than some of the other auto attackers, but I'm not entirely convinced that he's bad. I think you just have to rune him correctly, like full out, like max damage. But we'll see. I can try him out and kind of give you a little bit more. Let me say, any more questions here? Yeah, I got into the support. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I was just talking about the other lanes because that informs why AP supports are so good also. Like Zyra's, because you're not going to have AP anywhere else, and you don't want people to just all stack armor. I don't think Zyra's borderline OP. I think she's straight up OP. I'll have to look at Janna. I haven't done Janna yet. She fell a lot. I think I've got her in tier 3 right now. Sona could be problematic. You can actually rune into getting a an early Zanya's if you need to with her. It'll be 600 gold cheaper because she goes Kleptomancy. Blitz is very good. I've got him listed there. Yeah, Blitz is very good. You can check out all the runes there. Yes, precision runes are very, very good, but that you just you don't use them as support or anywhere else. But yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have a whole video about 80 carries. But yeah, Kalista, Lucian are going to be the best. Press the attack is overpowered. You have to get that on every single 80 carry, no matter what, basically. There might be one or two that use the attack speed one, but it's the casters. Anything, okay, here's what's 80 carry right now. Can you use press the attack? Do you have things that give you extra attacks, like Lucian, where you can stack it really quickly? Another consideration is, can you use sudden impact to get the extra lethality? Is there a champion that has a repeatable dash so you can always keep that up? That's a key thing. So that's Lucian and Kalista again. And then finally, you know, another big thing that's nice for Kalista is, can you get lifesteal? Because there's not very much lifesteal, and there's not going to be healing supports running around as much as there used to be. And so getting that lifesteal early to sustain through some of these early trades is really important. So if you can itemize into Blade of the Ruined King, it's really good. And Kalista's pretty much the best one that can do that right now. So I think those are the three things that are good. Draven can also itemize into lifesteal early. So that's why Draven, I've got Draven number 3. I'll have to try Aerie. I don't think Glacial Augment's good anymore. I used to think it was, but I didn't. That was before I knew all of the numbers, the final numbers on these things. That was before I knew the final numbers. And, you know, after looking, and this is why I told people I didn't want to talk a lot about the runes. I did one really early video, like a few months ago, just to let people know my initial thoughts. But I wanted to see the final numbers beforehand. And I really, the only person I can think of that Glacial might be really good is Brand, because that sets up his combo, which is, you know, with some of these other runes and mastery is going to be almost a one-shot, level 2 or 3. But you're giving up a lot of damage to get Glacial Augment. So I don't like it on most champs, although there are some corner cases like Brand, who has an extremely powerful skill shot combination where it might be worth it. And he also doesn't have a slow that's reliable. Well, you can use press the attack on supports, but the problem is every 80 carry is already going to have it, and I don't think it will stack. If it stacks, yes, everyone should get it, but I don't, well, actually that's not necessarily true. But I don't think that it stacks. So if your 80 carry is already putting it on people... Ranked solo duo queue is the exact same thing. It just calls it solo duo, just for clarity. It just means you can have up to 2 people, which was the same case every season. Except for Season 6, when they did a really weird experimentation. Where basically everything was flex. Yeah, I agree, Bibian. Absolutely. Glacial Teemo? I don't know. I haven't thought about Teemo. I've only thought about, you know, what I think are going to be like the super top tier things. There might be some really niche, like super underground stuff that I haven't seen. I mean, there has to be, right? There's like 140 something champions, and there's so many new variables that there's going to be something weird that nobody thinks of. I'm trying to think of it. I'm trying to think of everything. Oh, I forgot about Urgot. And, Udyr. Okay, yeah, I've got to redo some of the jungle and top lane stuff. I kind of did that really quickly before the video. The supports are pretty spot on, the top supports, what I think, but Udyr is actually extremely strong right now, and so is Urgot. So I've got to put those in there somewhere. Let me switch this up here. Okay, so top. Wait, did Urgot... I don't remember if he got armor or not. I doubt it. I don't have him on here. Let me see. Okay, he did get armor. Wow, he got armor and attack damage? And he... Okay. They nerfed his Q, though. Yeah, I think Urgot's going to be probably number 1. Urgot's very oppressive right now. He was last patch, and I don't see any reason why that would change on this patch. Okay, we'll take Theo out of there. I think Theo's going to be good, but she's primarily a tank buster. And there just aren't going to be a lot of tanks. Urgot, and then in the... Oh, I haven't even done the jungle yet. Okay. Udyr is going to be probably really good. I'll have to look at him. Because counter jungling is going to be really good, and he's good at fighting a lot of these early people. There was something else really weird that was good at fighting almost everything in the jungle, and I can't remember what it was. What was it? There's something I saw the other day, and then I looked it up, and I was like, wow, that is really stupid. Why can't... was it Urgot or Udyr? There's something else that just kind of came out of nowhere that was really oppressive. You might see something like Graves again. I'll have to run the number on Graves. I haven't done a lot of research into the jungle just yet. Okay, J4 is banned. I'm going to get rid of Urgot. I don't want to deal with that. Make sure. I think I'm going to do eyeball with champions that have good AP scaling instead of zombie. I mean, 30 extra AP is really nice. Once you have to stack it up, obviously, but that doesn't take too long. Not in this meta where everybody's dying. You're going to be dying all the time. Because Zyra is overpowered right now. Like, you guys... I mean, maybe I just go feed after I say this, but if you guys didn't watch my final day before the cutoff this season, when I was trying, like, frantically to get to Diamond the last day, like, you need to go watch that if you want to understand why Zyra is good. I went, like, 12-2. I gained, like, almost... maybe not quite 200, but pretty close to 200 LP in like 12 hours just spamming Zyra. Yeah, if you like fast metas, you like to sneak in games in 15 minutes before you go to work or something, this is your meta. Okay, so why is Zyra so good? So that was before the changes to Zyra, and the changes benefited Zyra more than any other support, I think. So what's up with Zyra? Okay, Zyra has always had some of the highest burst damage bot lane available because her plants have insane burst damage. I have all the runes to all the top 10 champions, and I'm probably only going to play top 10 tonight in ranked. In the Google Doc, in the link, in the description if you want to see what they are. Recommended items, runes, masteries. Here, I'll show you where they are. So if you just look in the description of the video, you'll see it right here. You might be able to click on it. I have to copy paste it, but you can just copy paste it, put it up here, boom. Then scroll down, you've got the tier list, and then if you just click on the little extra Google Doc right below whichever champion you're interested in, like Zyra, you just click on it, it'll show it right here. What I go on the champion, what I recommend. Alright, it's got recommended runes and items. And then kind of rough notes about matchups. I haven't updated this yet, but these are updated and good to go. The runes. So if you want to know, what do I think about Sona? What do I think about Zyra? What do I think about Blitzcrank, Alistar, Soraka? Anybody down here, this tier 1 or tier 2, I've got it updated. I don't have the tier 3 and lower yet, but I will do the tier 3 stuff tonight. And then I'm going to release a whole video where I discuss all of these changes in great depth with awesome timestamps for you. And I'll have that ready after the stream. It just takes a very long time to do all the research and create the video, upload it, all that stuff. But yeah, it's right there. If you're curious about anything I'm doing. There might be a couple of variations where I'll talk about it. But yeah, so the thing that makes Zyra oppressively strong is her plants are very powerful early on. And she only needs a couple of items, and she does massive area of effect damage in team fights and really high sustained damage in team fights. And her plants give her really good vision control. I've got an entire guide on Zyra if you want to know. It's like probably my most popular guide. And she was my most played champion for a lot of last season. But yeah, then, so her plants also... No! I can't miss it! Oh, God! Can't believe I missed it. How did I miss that? Okay, first game of the day. Wow. I literally have no idea how that missed. Okay, just pretend you didn't see that. That was just awful. But yeah, all the masteries benefit her, and her plants hitting people lowers the cooldown on Comet. Which means you get a lot of Comets. Like, you can get off 2 or 3 Comets in a fight. Because each plant hit counts as a new spell hit. Look how much damage just my auto attacks do. You want to try to go for E if you can early on. I don't know. Q is still really good, but E is greedy. It gives you cheap shot. It's possible you could still want to go for Q. She does have... What does she have? Airy? How fast did Airy go back to her? Is it already on her again? Oh god, Fod got... I don't know if I can do it with Fod, man. Not in ranked. He hasn't played in a long time, and he doesn't really know like what's going on. Fleet footwork is so bad. There's that damage. I mean, I love him, man, but he's kind of out of touch. So it seems. Damn. I'm probably gonna have to back. I don't know. I do have Ignite. If I hit him, I think I can kill him. Damn. Well, she flashed before I could Ignite her. And she has Ignite. What? I should have just backed. I was greedy. Actually, I don't need that. She doesn't have flash. I'm just gonna go for the throat.
Such a busy world. An ally has been slain.
Oh, he has 19 CS? Alright, FOD, buddy. I mean, we might get carried this one, but I don't know. I mean, it is preseason, but keep in mind your rank still matters, like, going into later in the season. Damn, that knock-up, though. Maybe I'm being too greedy going for these cheap shots. I should just probably just stick with the Q. The QW. More standardized harass. It's safer. Need to go grab that plant in the river. I feel like she's roaming because he's playing very far back. Yeah, she got the plant. This Janna is, like, being so aggressive. I gotta punish her. If I hit her and she doesn't tornado me. Wait, what? What? Oh, she went Hextech Revolver? What the? She has 81... How does she have 81 AP? I guess from Hextech Revolver. What the hell? Okay, I should have watched her items more closely, I guess. That is bizarre as hell. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to give up this lane. Like, Lucian just doesn't do any damage. Like, I keep trying to all-in the Janna, but she does more damage than I do right now because she rushed Hextech Revolver and has Ignite. And Lucian, like, literally does 0 damage. So I'm just gonna have to roam and try to make plays with Karthus or something. Damn. I should have flashed it. I didn't realize he was 6. Or he's actually 7. Jesus. This guy's like, Jesus, dude, bot's so fed. Varus literally had 0 kills before he double killed us right there. Like, that's not because bot's fed, that's because you dove the tower without any armor, probably. Yeah, with 0 armor on Hecarim. So, yeah, we're behind a lot of CS, but that's not because we fed bot insanely. It's because you dove a tower. I mean, maybe that weird thing that I'll have to look at the Janna thing. Maybe that weird build with Janna is actually pretty good with Aerie. I mean, Janna does have really good AP ratios. I'm skeptical though. I'm still skeptical. I feel like it's has a lot more to do with this FOD not having the right runes and just being super rusty bot lane. I can't kill that Janna. I'm really far behind too, in terms of damage. Okay, Kha'Zix is right there. Okay, yeah, it takes like maybe 4 seconds to go back. That's what it seems like. We watch how long it takes Aerie to run back.
An enemy has been slain. Rampage. An ally has been slain. Your turret has been destroyed.
They're so far ahead. And that build on Lucian's like 5 months old too. Like, Bork is definitely not what you want to be doing in this meta. Okay, there we go. So I love him. I mean, he's my boy. I think he's just, like he said, he hasn't played in a long time. And he's jumping in, you know, against the top, whatever, 3%, 5% of players, something like that. And that's rough. It's cold turkey. And if you think well, uh-oh. If you think something like that doesn't matter, that people should, you know, if you take time off, like just look at what happened with I'm a Cutie Pie and Dyrus and them, right? Like they were like top caliber pro players. And they're like top of the solo queue. I mean, Cutie was #1 on the ladder for a while, and they got completely stomped when they tried to play against the minor leagues last season, right? Because they hadn't played in that environment in a long time, like that kind of competitive environment. So yeah, if you take time off of anything, you're gonna be rusty, you know. Uh-oh. Where'd he go? Okay, well, I finally got my 2 pen items. I should have called that earlier. Really? They decided to chase the Nasus? Yeah, everyone just kind of like fanned out. Zyra does not want that. You want either nice, neat team fights, or you want to get people like out of bushes when they're not looking. The Varus flashing sucked. He flashed my roots. I was trying to anticipate him running backwards, but he flashed backwards. Yeah, let me ward this. Oh god.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. A promising garden. Down. Such a busy world. Venture off the beaten path.
Alright. Alright, Fod's picking it up. Got that QSS. I mean, I realize I'm 0-5 as well. Like, I'm not having the greatest game either. Like, I see the irony there.
Wait until my seeds take root. An enemy has been slain. Take careful steps.
I could one-shot him if he walks over here. I'm gonna put an oops pink ward here and see if he goes for it, or if Janna goes for it.
Such a busy world.
Damn it, that ghost. Wow, I should have ignited him earlier. Way too greedy with that. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to get a book here.
Enemy has been slain. Take careful steps. Come closer.
Okay, got my 30 AP boost there.
The forest holds many surprises. So much more to see.
I should have hit that the other way. Accidentally hit it. I can't clear that. There's too many people missing. No way. No way. For real? What? What the? What? How did that not kill him? Wow.
Your turret has been destroyed. Your turret has been destroyed. An enemy has been slain. Your turret has been
Bro, get on him.